Hello, fearless Phoenixes. Today we will see how to know if you are profitable playing Chain Colosseum Phoenix. So, in order to know if you are profitable, we will need to make a short analysis. First, to know the minting costs. Then I will make a point about the minting risks. And we'll see how to calculate your break-even point. And then I will show you, that's quite obvious, how you will see if you are actually earning money with the game. So about the minting costs, you have to ask yourself how much does minting cost. I will come back to this point after that, but the idea is you will have to mint or buy heroes in order to resurrect other heroes, and that will actually define if you are profitable or not. I will show you why. But basically, how much does it cost to mint a hero? It depends on the rarity of the parent's hero and their mint count. And of course, you will need some summoning stones in addition to that. So if I give you a short example, if I have two common heroes as parents and both are below 2 in the min count, then it will cost 200 PCCP plus 2 OAS plus 5 summoning stones per parent to mint a new hero. That means together it will do 400 PCCP, 4 OS and 20 BCCPs. The 20 BCCPs is basically you need 10 summoning stones, so 5 summoning stones per parent, and you can buy the summoning stones from the shop in-game, and they cost 2 PCCP per piece, therefore these 20 PCCPs for the summoning stones. Of course you can get them from somewhere else, but that's the worst case scenario, let's say. Now about the minting risk, you have to be aware that when you're minting heroes from 2 heroes, you have a given risk. What is this risk? There is a probability when you take 2 heroes of a given rarity that you will get a hero that is from a lower rarity. For instance, if you mint from 2 uncommon heroes, there is a 25% probability that you get a common book. So basically you have a quite good chance of getting a lower ranked hero, lower rarity hero. Of course you also have a probability to get a better hero. Like I think there is a 2% probability that you get a rare book from 2 uncommon heroes, and then there is also a probability that you get given heroes from a given book. I don't want to enter too much into details at this point, but be careful when you're computing your profitability. You should also take these risks into account. Now there is also a good thing, and this thing is if you take 2 common hero and min from 2 common heroes, you cannot get a lower rarity hero because common hero is the lowest of what there is. So if you min from 2 common hero, you have actually no risk, and I will come back to that in the next point. About the break-even point. So what should we care about? What is the measurement that we really need to focus on? That's not the BCCP per day, the thing that you see on X, Twitter and so on. That's of course interesting, but that's not the point. It won't say if you're profitable. That's also not the BCCP per energy. So the amount of money you are earning when you're killing a monster, that's not really relevant. That's relevant to an extent, but that's not this thing that will say if you're profitable or not. What is important is the BCCP per lifespan. And how do you compute that? You will need the resurrection costs, so that's partially what I presented in the slide before. So you need to know what are the minting costs and what are the leveling costs. All this is available on the official documentation, so please have a look if you don't trust my numbers, or you can also redo the computation if I'm wrong. And after that, you can divide this resurrection cost with the restored lifespan, and you get this actually this BCCP per lifespan break-even point. Of course, there is also something that I didn't consider that you also should consider, but I will show you in the last part how you can deal with that in a quite efficient way. But of course, you know, each time you use a hero, the durability of this hero will decrease a little bit, and then you have to recover this durability, and that costs a bit of BCCPs again. And of course, that's depending on the intelligence points. So I said something like 10% of your earning will go into recovering if you have about 150 intelligence points. You have to check that by yourself to have a more clearer view about that. So here I have two examples, and that's very important to show you that it's not so easy to compute all that, but I try to make it quite clear and easy to compute anyways. So the first example is like this. We want to resurrect an uncommon hero, and we want to use a common hero for that. So let's say we have two common heroes from which we mint a new common hero, and this common hero will be leveled up and used for the resurrection. So how much does this cost? So the minting cost, we've seen that before on a previous slide, so 420 BCCP and 4 ORS. The leveling up cost, again from the official page you can see that leveling up to level 10, I wouldn't advise to level up more than that, but you have to check for yourself. And that costs 80 BCCP to level 10 plus 4 ORS. Here the calculation is on origin, so the ORS amount is divided by 10 in comparison with the Genesis, so that's these numbers, this calculation don't apply for Genesis, but for Genesis you would just have to multiply the amount of ORS by 10 and you get the result. If you do that, if you use a common hero level 10 full lifespan to resurrect an uncommon hero, then this uncommon hero will get 180 lifespan points back. So you do the computation, 420 plus 80, that's 500 divided by 180, and you get something like 2.778 BCCP per lifespan point. And that's actually what you have to care about. And then plus an amount of OS per lifespan point. But that I tend to ignore a bit because, well, you don't directly earn OS in game. So, but you have to keep in mind that you use these 8 OS in the minting and leveling up process. You have to get back this OS some point later to be profitable. Example, on the first example, we've seen the minting with a common hero, so we had no risk in the minting process. Now I want to do the same calculation, but I want to use an uncommon hero to resurrect an uncommon hero. So let's say I have 2 uncommon heroes, I mint an uncommon hero from these 2 uncommon heroes with this 25% risk, more or less, that I get a common hero, and that doesn't work. So all the computation will collapse somehow there. But let's say it works. Then for the minting I need 840 BCCPs plus 8 ORS. The leveling up is the same. It doesn't depend on the rarity. If I level up a common hero or an uncommon hero to level 10 that are the same cost. So that's not the point, that doesn't change. And if I use this uncommon hero level 10 to resurrect an other uncommon hero, then this other uncommon hero will get all this lifespan back. So those are the 325 points. Now again, you do the computation. 840 plus 80, that's 920 divided by the 325. That gives something like 2.831 BCP per lifespan point. So as you see, the costs are higher if I use an uncommon hero to resurrect this other uncommon hero. And I have additional risk that the mint doesn't go the way I want. So it's quite risky, and that's why I tend to advise do your resurrecting with common heroes, and there have a stock of common heroes from which you can mint other common heroes and rotate them and use the common heroes with more than 2 minting counts to resurrect the other heroes, and then you have a quite good life cycle in the game. So try to keep that in mind. So now that you have a strategy and you know what you have to compute and what your goals are, you can check them in game. So how do you do that? That's quite easy. You will note the lifespan of each of your heroes that are in your attacking team before you rush. You will then make your rush as usual, and when you're finished, when you're done, you will also note the lifespan of each of the heroes that are in your attacking team. Then of course you can do the difference in lifespan, so it will give you the number of lifespan that you actually spent in your rush. And then you divide the earning of your rush minus the recovery cost. So it may be a good idea after your rush that you recover from each hero and note how much you spend for that. Then you do the earning minus recovery cost, and you divide this by the number of lifespan that you used in the rush. That means the difference that you compute beforehand. And here, obviously, if the number that you get is below the break-even point that you computed before, then you have a problem. Your strategy is losing, and that's time to think about your strategy, either to level up your heroes a bit more to earn more, or maybe to have some better strategy how you deal with battles. Maybe you don't do it right, or maybe there is something else. Anyways, if you don't reach this break-even point, then you probably have to think about how you're playing. Maybe you can go to the Discord and ask some questions, or try to reach out to people playing the game like myself and ask them if they can give you some advice. So that's all for today. I hope that this video was kind of helpful for you, and we'll see you next time. In the meanwhile, good luck in the game, and see you on the moon.